Here, I don't understand. Is it like I wish I'm going to write $1 million of premium, and all of a sudden I write $1 million of premium? He said, yes. I said, yes. It doesn't quite make sense. He said, well, you know what we should do? Bob Proctor in The Secret, those of you remember Bob Proctor, the old guy? He has a school. I said, really? Where's the school? He says, in Jupiter, Florida. I said, wow, my home's in Jupiter, Florida. We must go. So we sign up, we go for this coaching program, week intensive under Bob Proctor, become certified coaches under Bob Proctor's methods. So we came back and we started teaching at Bob Proctor's coaching program. We would do rooms very much like this. Friends, family, clients would attend these events. And all of a sudden we started getting hired. We were getting hired by schools, technology companies, insurance companies, banks started hiring us to teach this program because it's results driven. So as we were doing this, as we were teaching, another opportunity came up. Paul came to me and says, you want to go to Korea? I said, okay, for what? He goes, well, we can train with the masters. So I had the opportunity to train with some of the top martial artists in the world. 2 of them are in this room right now. And I noticed something in a short amount of time. There were men and women there, 60, 70, 80 years old. They looked like they're 30 and 40 years old. So much power, so much strength, so much calmness, so much flexibility that I was intrigued by it. I said, how is this possible? How is this possible? So at the time, I took my son and my dad were with me. My son at the time was 11 years old, and he was going to compete, and I was just going to train. And the Korean children there were they start from when they're 2 years old. So I was a little bit paranoid taking my son home with a broken jaw, so we decided not to let him compete, but to train. So Paul convinced me in a short time. He said, you're ready to compete. Now, this was an international competition, 5,000 competitors all over the world from every single country imaginable. I said, Paul, I'm going to talk a little bit later about paralyzing paradigms. This was the first thing I said. I'm 50 years old, by the way. This was 3 years ago. First thing I said was, I'm too old. I haven't trained for this. I've never competed at this level. Tap into the energy source, tap into what you've learned, and you'll know the outcome. See, Vince in the back and Joe Mondrian, they know their outcome. They know the outcome even before they begin. So I had to know the outcome. What was the outcome I wanted? I wanted a medal. So I'm in the back, and I'm waiting. I was the last competitor, senior division heavyweight class, okay? And I'm in the back, and I'm watching all these competitors, and I saw this one guy from Spain, younger than me, taller than me, faster than me, 4th degree black belt. So those fears started coming in. How do I do this? This is crazy. My dad is here. He's going to have a stroke. He's over 80 years old. Watching me do this. Okay? Make a very long story short, I ended up winning the silver medal at the age of 47. Now, why am I telling you that? Okay? The reason for that is that we all have this energy source. Does anybody want to know how to tap into it? Yes? Okay. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to take off my jacket. I know there's a chair here. So I said before, we have this internal guidance system. We're programmed a certain way, right? When you learn how to tap into that, there's a center called the danjan. That's where all energy is stored. Energy goes through and through you, okay? To and through you. So what happens is, can I go back to the PowerPoint there, please? Those of you, just to mention, everyone should have had a book here. This book was a vision of our worthy ideal. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on. This book was #1 bestseller on Happy Release on Amazon. The purpose of this book was to impact the masses, so that we don't have to do one-on-one coaching, but go globally with this. It's going to be written in 5 languages in the next couple of months. So when I was reading these emails, we had these open seminars, rooms very much like this. People would write us emails. I've saved every single email. They'll write these emails. Nick, Paul, Chris, Kim, Rick, thank you so much. You transformed my life. You changed my life, right? What's the #1 New Year's resolution? Lose weight. What do people do? They join the gym. What's the next thing they do? They quit the gym. Why? They're looking for an outside circumstance to change what's going on inside. See how we have it? Ass backwards. Okay? The same thing happens in our business. We're looking for an outside circumstance to change what's going on inside. We're all programmed and built a certain way. So I'm reading these emails from everybody. I'm part of Master Team. That's 10 pounds ago. I'm reading this, and the word transformation kept coming up. So what does this mean? I've seen hundreds of motivational speakers, hundreds of coaches, they all say the same thing. And you go to these seminars and say, wow, I feel great. And then what happens? You go back to your old ways, right? That's like me going to the gym saying, I'm going to work out. I work out, I feel great, I never need to work out anymore. Right? It doesn't work that way. So I wrote the word transformation, but I didn't write it horizontally, I wrote it vertically. This was the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning. My wife thought I was nuts. Where are you going? I'm going to write. Write what? I don't know. Transformation is an acronym form. If you notice in the book, there's 14 chapters. Our process takes you through this step by step by step until you finally reach this transformation. So we're going to spend some time on a couple of these, obviously. The first is the power of thought. Who chooses your thoughts? You do, because you went through coaching, right? But we allow others to choose our thoughts, right? I'm going to talk about that. Replacing emotional scars. We all have these paralyzing paradigms. When I was a little boy playing baseball, I was born in Italy, and my father, very superstitious man, I used to take my hat off and put it on the bed. And my father would say, take the hat off the bed. I said, Dad, that's crazy, that's silly. And he'd smack me in the back of the head. I said, why do I have to take the hat off the bed? He said, bad luck. You know I won't let my kids put a hat on the bed? These are my father's beliefs, my grandparents' beliefs. They became my beliefs. And we all have these paradigms based on our coaches, our teachers, and others that affect us. Replacing emotional scars. A is for levels of awareness. We've identified 7 levels. Here's a typical FR. Typical FR is in animalistic form. Animalistic is, I have nobody to see, I have to write premium, I have to pay the mortgage. You're in survival mode. Does that sound familiar? We're in survival mode. And so we get stressed out, our body kinks up. Can we perform? No. Okay? The highest level of awareness is disassociation or enlightenment. Disassociation means not allowing people, circumstances, conditions affect your outcome, that you're ultimately in control. Does that make sense? Not if you acknowledge this. This has got to be interactive, okay? Never giving up. President's Council producer have this quality. They have that burning desire. That burning desire to succeed no matter what it takes. They have that burning desire to impact the client no matter what it takes. They don't worry about survival mode because they know their outcome. They know the reward they're going to get for that outcome. So they know how to tap into this burning desire. And do you think some people have more energy than others? How many people say yes? Show of hands. How many people say no? Our coaching client said no, okay? So who said yes? Front row. This gentleman here. You have children? How many? 2. If I said to you, I want you to go run outside over those 2 dividers on the parkway, I left a $1 bill right in the center lane, will you run out there? No. If your children were out there and there was a dog or a car, the dog was going to bite them or a car was ready to run them over, how fast would you run out there? Fast as you could. So do you have energy? What did you lack before? Motivation. We all have the same energy, we just lack the motivation. Does that make sense? So do all people have the same energy? Yes. Okay? S is for self-image. How you view yourself is how clients view you. What's the image you have of yourself? Are you the best of the best? Do you believe that you're the best of the best? If so, you become the best of the best. Everything you think about, you become. Gandhi said it, Buddha said it, Stephen Jobs said it, Bill Gates said it. Everything we think about, we become. So if you believe that you're going to be the best, and you believe that life insurance is the single greatest asset that anybody should own, it's going to come across. How many times do clients buy from you? 7 times. 7 times. Okay? Self-image, how do you view yourself? Focus. I have a form of ADD, you notice I pace back and forth. This was the hardest chapter to write. Right? Now if I'm sitting outside getting a suntan, right? If I held a magnifying glass to that sun, what's going to happen? I'm going to burn, right? How do you harness that same energy when it comes to focus? You know, I hear this all the time. Next year, I'm going to focus and I'm going to make President's Council. I should have, could have, would have, but it never happens. Because you haven't changed that internal guidance system. O is opportunities. When an agent comes into my office and says, well, I have a problem, or one of my kids says I have a problem, there's no such word. Problems do not exist.